What is up, YouTube land? And we're finishing Metroid Prime 3 today.
There's very little to this game left.
Wahoo!
So we're back on Brio, that weird portal place. I don't know if this is like another dimension or like the past or something, but the final E-Tank is here.
So I'm unfamiliar with the series for the most part, because I played the first one like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Is this considered as long as the other ones? Longer?
I would say that this one's the longest, but I think it's for mostly bad reasons.
Because of the back
all the back and forth.
Yeah.
And especially the way that the gunship works. In terms of, you just have to like go back and forth with it. Go up. Okay. And how segmented every place is.
Yeah.
And there's like, all the other Metroid Prime games, there's like one central place. Like Metroid Prime 2 has like the dark and light world, which is basically just the same world, but like with a different coat of paint. So that technically has like 2, I guess. This one has like 3 full places and then a couple other places. So it definitely has like the most content.
I will say Metroid seems to be one of those series meant to not take a whole ton of time, even 100%, but a series that most people would play multiple times, unlike something like, say, the the newer Assassin's Creed games, or even Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where I 100%ed it. I put like 100 hours into it, more than that. But I will like never play it again in my life. It seems like this series is more of like, it takes, I don't know, your first playthrough, 10, 15 hours, but it seems like one of those that you might, and maybe that's even more than it would be, but it seems like one of those series that you would want to play multiple times. And
yeah, I think that's really the that's a good thing about the 2D Metroid games, where none of them are very. What the heck just happened?
Hopefully it doesn't. Oh, good. I was like, hopefully it doesn't start you at the
like
middle
a soft lock, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, although you just started, but yeah.
And I fell off because the screw tech just refused to work for some reason.
And it's not waggle.
In my opinion, I think the Metroid Prime games are a lot longer, but because of how slower, like much slower than the 2D games, I feel less inclined to replay them. Especially like this game. Like, me doing this second playthrough has been sort of a struggle, because I also have to like practice it, so I've actually played it more like 3 times. I'm done with this game.
This thing, if you include it with other 2D or 3D exploration type games, this game does seemingly give you a lot of the fun movement and beams rather early, all things considered. One of my main complaints with like Metroidvania kind of games is you get the best stuff usually like right at the end. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's the same thing with like a lot of JRPGs. It's like you don't get the best spells and stuff till the very end, and at that point, what do you have to use it on? The final boss and maybe some optional bosses, and that's it.
Yeah, this game is probably the best in that, and they give you the screw tech really early. They don't give you the spider ball until really late, but I think like they probably felt like they did all that they really thought they could with the first 2 games, especially the second game. They do so much spider ball stuff. There's literally a boss with the spider ball, so I guess they were just like, yeah, it's a cool idea, here it is at the end, but we don't have any ideas for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess this game definitely gives you the stuff earlier, but especially Metroid Prime 1, obviously it's the first one, but like you don't get like the space jump until like 2 hours in, which is the double jump. Yeah, Metroid Prime 1, like, you don't have anything until, like, the game's almost over.
How would you... I forget if I asked this early on, but how would you rank the 3 Prime games?
I like 2 the best. 3 is probably the worst, just because of the back and forth and the segmentation, but it's still good. Like, at max, I would say that this game's, like, a 7 or 8 out of 10.
It's funny because... And I don't know if it's just because it was so unique at the time, but Metroid Prime 1 is the one that gets all the accolades and the remaster on the Switch and stuff, and it seems like Metroid Prime 2 in general is more forgotten. I don't have the sales numbers in front of me. It definitely sold less good than Metroid Prime 1.
Yeah, it definitely had the curse of being a later release GameCube game.
Right.
But, yeah, it's just in the middle child. Not a whole ton happens in 2, because Dark Samus forms when, at the end of Prime 1, you know the black and red suit that Samus has at the very end of Prime 1? It's called the Phazon suit.
I've heard of it.
Basically, that's like a corrupted suit that like she loses at the very end of the game, but basically the Phazon like becomes sentient. Like we'll get to the planet of Phazon called Phase, but it's basically like a sentient like hive mind sort of thing. And in Prime 2, like, Dark Samus forms a little bit more, and you fight her a couple times, but it really doesn't do much in terms of the story. So everything that matters that happens is in 1 and 3. So I think that's why 2 is forgotten. And also, you have to really like 2, and 2 has, like, some pretty obscure, like, especially the end game with getting the Sky Temple keys. It's a pretty obscure amount of work that you have to do to get to the final boss.
Is that the reason that you chose to... Wait, have we done 2 yet? No. I don't think so.
We haven't done 1 either. I don't really want to do 1 either.
Is that the reason you chose 3 instead of 2? Just because it's like a little more streamlined?
It's streamlined, it has the most plot going on, it's the end of the Phazon trilogy, and it's the most interesting, even though I think it's like probably the worst. It's definitely the most interesting in terms of like someone watching it. Because other than, like, obviously we can entertain ourselves by talking about dumb crap, but I think you would be, like, bored watching Prime 1. Prime 1 is, like, it's a Metroid game.
The major word that I would use for Metroid Prime 1 is atmosphere.
Yeah.
It does great atmosphere, but in terms of, like...
It's a great single-player game if you're playing it by yourself,
yes.
And you're alone, you have headphones on. It's a great game that way, but in terms of being like, let's do an LP and talk about it, it's like...
The phrase nowadays would be a streaming game. Metroid Prime 1 has to be just an awful streaming game.
It's a cool...
Like, I would imagine the only reason I would watch someone play it is A, if they were doing literally world record runs, or B, if they were incredibly... just a good streamer, like, very interesting and whatever. Like, just seeing someone sit there, barely talking to their chat, and going through Metroid Prime 1 just sounds like the worst time to me.
The other thing is that Prime 1 speedruns are also pretty cool. There's a lot of... That game is so... I hesitate to say broken, because it really isn't broken. It's exploitable.
Exploited.
In terms of, like, out-of-bounds tricks and stuff like that.
By the way, you know
it's interesting in that way. Like, you watch a Prime 1 speedrun with, like, out of bounds, and, like, they're never in, like, rooms.
That's cool. I like that. Do you know how, whenever Samus gets off her ship, it does the ha noise? Is there a better video game noise that you would want to play, like, every time you entered a room? Like, if you had, like, a theme song, you know, every time you enter a room, it's like, you walk into, like, work, and you open the door, and it's...
That's a really good one.
I mean, I feel like that would not get ridiculously annoying. Like, you could be like, I want the Mario beep beep wahoo, and it's like, that would annoy me after
and like
5 seconds.
The thing like Zelda, that da 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 when you pick up something would be annoying after like 5 seconds.
I feel so. I feel like I would get less annoyed. Of course, if something's playing all day, eventually get annoyed with it, but I feel like that would be a lot less.
So we're on the Federation ship we were on in the very tutorial of the game. It got exploded, and we have to get like a space pirate location like data to get to the final like planet, because it's like out of conventional space. You have to like warp to it. But this place is like barely like a real thing. It's just more of an energy cell check. Which we spent the entire game like finding.
Right.
In fact, I found too many. I only need 5. I thought I needed 6 to get the energy tank, but no, you just need 5. And there's 9 in all. But if you want to get 100%, like get all the missile tanks and the ship missile tanks, to get full 100% and get the hidden ending, you do have to do everything. Which, by the way, all the Prime games have this thing where it's like there's some sort of like MacGuffin that you need to finish the game. In Prime 1, it's the 12 Chozo artifacts. In Prime 2, it's the 9 Sky Temple keys. But in Prime 3, it's the energy cells, and it's like, really? Like, can't I just ask the Federation, like, hey, can I have some energy cells? Like, you just make them, right? It's like, why is this like a thing that I have to find in special places?
That makes sense. It's like,
It definitely feels way lamer. Like, at least it's like, here's the Chozo artifacts. I mean, they're really abstract and you don't understand what they do, but they are needed to unlock the final gate. But I don't know. Just go to the Federation and be like, hey, can I have some energy cells so I don't have to do this crap?
Well, I mean, considering how they eventually end up treating Samus and Other M, maybe they would be like, no.
Yeah.
But
the Federation does suck. Like
but
sometimes
the world's the whole universe is at danger. Well, no, I can imagine they would be like a local government where like you're like, hey, like I had to go through this last year. I want to build a fence on my property. Whoa.
Yeah.
You got to fill out form 10B62-4. But like, imagine Samus being like, "Can I get an energy cell?" Whoa. First of all, Gary's not in today. He'll be in on Tuesday.
Yeah,
he's the one that handles energy cells.
3 months of like litigation.
You're like, well, no, you don't understand. The Metroid hatchers are hatching everywhere. They're like now. I need it now, like now today.
Yeah.
To bring an old CIB meme.
Luckily, we can skip this awful fight. The Metroid hatcher fights are so terrible.
I would say the word that I would use is just kind of like boring.
Yeah, it's just like you hit the tentacles until he becomes stunned.
Yeah.
And then you wait until he spins around and stuns himself, and then you just do that 4 times.
I like finding a way to ruin series that people like Metroid. So just imagining the Federation. I mean, the Federation sucks, but just imagining the Federation as like this ridiculously governmental style thing where everything is just so slow and just completely
78356
completely bogged down is just hilarious to me.
Yeah, the Federation in the Prime series is pretty helpful. Like, we're helping them out the entire time, and they seem pretty cool. Although there's some weird crap, like they take orders from these like Lovecraftian like head things. That's never been explained, but
just like these elder gods being like, blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
like they're like the control of like all those ships. It's like, okay, where did these go from?
Cool.
But anyway, the Federation in the Prime games is pretty cool, but the Federation in the official like Metroid games, like the canon ones, all awful.
That's just awesome. I mean, it makes sense, right? No.
Not 20 energy.
But yeah, now I'm going to imagine. Now I'm just going to imagine the Federation being like from the I forget his name, Lumber or Lambier from Office Space. Yeah, Samus, I'm going to need you to come in on Tuesday.
It's also funny that Samus is like officially a bounty hunter.
No, the best one. The 2 guys in Office Space that are interviewing everyone. Samus is sitting there to go, what would you say you do here? To Samus, who does every single thing in the universe. Yeah, we're going to need to let you go because you're just not pulling your weight.
It's also
2 days later, Metroids take over the entire universe. Ooh. Yeah, Samus, I'm going to need you to come in on Wednesday to fix these Metroids destroying the entire universe. Oh my god.
It's also funny that Samus is officially a bounty hunter, but she like barely does bounty hunts.
What?
She's like Muster Extermination or the Federation lapdog.
Is actually, with me not being super knowledgeable, is there a time she actually does that?
I think the Metroid hunt on like Metroid 1 is like a bounty. I don't remember, but it definitely doesn't feel like it matters.
Huh.
Like the only time that she feels like a bounty hunter is Metroid Prime Hunters.
But she's a bounty hunter, but she works for like the Federation. Or is she like...
I think she's like a freelancer.
Because bounty hunters to me means freelancer, just taking whatever you want. You know?
But I think she like... You she gets like caught up in all of it.
Right.
But she does willingly give a Metroid to the Federation before Metroid Prime 3, which was a big mistake. But I guess she had hope or like trust in them. But that trust was misplaced.
Yeah.
Especially by Metroid Fusion, they just like are like, let's breed Metroids in secret. What could go wrong? We can control them. Literally the
biggest mistake ever in anything ever.
Literally the Wayland Yutani.
What is that?
That's from Alien.
Oh, okay.
Like breeding the Xenomorphs.
Yeah,
you can control them. No, you can't. You cannot.
When? Name one time. I mean, literally hundreds of years ago, Frankenstein's monster, and I know the book is different from the movie and stuff, but it's like, I'll create this thing and it'll listen to me and this will be great. It's like, literally never. Name one time. Majin Buu from DBZ. The entire series of Castlevania is, hey, I love Dracula, I'm gonna bring him back and then the world will be great. Thank you for releasing me dead.
We love Dracula for some reason. Okay, Dracula, revive. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna kill you and everyone else. Oh, okay, cool.
It's like, and I won't go into this too long, but it's like in real life when people are like, yeah, I love, like, the idea of, like, a Satan kind of thing, or, like, a devil, and, like, I just want it to be real. I'm like, por qué?
Yeah, do you want to burn in hell for, like your entire eternity?
Well, not only, like, looking at it from, like, a religious thing, but it's like, I want him to walk the earth and blah, 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 and it's like, why? If you brought a being of unbelievable evil to earth, it would be like, cool, thanks, bro. In fact, it probably wouldn't kill you. He would probably be like, I scientifically figured out the way. Oh, it would be like, I have no mouth and I must scream. He would just be like, I'm going to attach you to this machine that will keep you alive barely forever, so you're constantly in pain for literally infinity time. Cool, there you go. Thanks, guys. And that's essentially the same thing as Dracula. At least Dracula, like, just kills immediately whoever brings him back.
Yeah, the idea of, like, unending torture is way scarier than just dying.
Right. That's why I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is, like, my favorite short story of all time.
It is quite scary.
I forget his name. Harlan, I forget his last name, but who comes up with that idea? Who's just, like, sitting in a sunroom and is like, hey, I got this idea for this short story. I didn't pay attention. Where are we now?
We're in the last Leviathan seed.
This is a very cool look.
That's kind of the entire... this game is very, not repetitive, but structured. You go to a new planet, there's a Leviathan seed that's spreading Phazon very fast, and you have to do a whole bunch of busy work to get to it. And then you fight whoever the boss is. This time it's Ridley, which is kind of cool. And then, although this fight is cool, but it's really easy. It's, like, disappointingly easy.
I just like the idea of Samus slowly going around Ridley in the morph ball. It's being like, I'm going to slightly roll around you, Ridley. Deal with it, Omega Ridley.
Wait, what? I thought there was, like... I thought there was, like, we're supposed to, like, he has, like, armor on his chest, and I thought there was, like, joints that you need the,
You're hitting it sometimes.
Yeah. What am I doing? Do I have to scan it first to, like... Oh, right. Of course, that's the answer to everything. Can you...
He tried it.
Right, we had to use the stupid grapple thing to wrench it open, then we do the thing. I swear, it wasn't giving me that symbol before I scanned it.
I don't think
you
so.
had to do that.
Are you still not hitting it? What's going on?
I think I have to wait for something specific. I just did this fight like 2 days ago. I can't believe I don't remember it already. Oh, do I just hyper beam it?
Seems to be hurting it. Yeah, it's definitely hurting
I'm
it.
thinking about the second phase instead of the first one.
Yeah, it seems like a decent first phase so far. I mean,
it just doesn't
you
really...
certainly don't have a lot of opportunity to hit him.
Yeah, there's just not much to do in this fight. He doesn't really attack you too much, and then it actually damaging him, like he's already a third dead, is pretty easy. Okay, sorry, this is what I was thinking of from the beginning.
that like the weak spot on the armor or whatever?
Yeah. I don't know why you need the X-ray to see that, but it makes it better. No. Come on, open your mouth, you stupid idiot.
Not my right shoulder blade. Wow, that takes a lot.
Okay. Alright, now he's being a little baby about this. He's like, no, don't attack me. This really reminds me of like some of the annoying monsters in Monster Hunter that just like instantly run when they're like cornered. It is so annoying.
Well, especially with those fights taking a while too, that would be pretty frustrating.
Like the namesake, like the most iconic monster is the Rathalos. I think I'm saying that right. It's the red. It looks like a wyvern, red dragon wyvern, and he's like. Infamously, like, his AI is just, like, very annoying. Like, he'll just run away all the time. It's like, really? You make, like, the namesake of the series this little baby about it?
Hey, maybe it's smart. No!
I think I can, like, hit his mouth and make him drop, but it's pretty hard. And also, he just does that anyway.
Immediately injects another tank. It takes so much.
That's it. That fight is so easy.
I'm Ridley. I'm dead forever.
Look at what happens to him. He just literally explodes. Although Ridley comes back in like the most like ridiculous ways. Like in Metro Fusion, like they preserve his corpse on the bottle ship, and then the X go and absorb his DNA from his like corpse in frozen like cryostasis. It's like, yep, that's why Ridley's back this time.
Huh. It reminds me of that dragon boss in Super Mario RPG, the one that falls in the lava and just comes back and it's like a bunch of bones. You're like, hey.
Man, Samus is so corrupted from the Phazon that like she's almost turning purple. Like the red from her armor is like fusing with the blue and it turns purple. That's how like close she is to like becoming Dark Samus now. I think this is called Corruption 75%. Although we can barely see it because she's glowing like Super Saiyans.
Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan God Blue something.
Oh, talk about Dragon Ball for a second. Apparently, I haven't watched it yet, but Dragon Ball Daima is, I think it's either close to ending or ended now. And apparently, like, it's basically just like a variation on Dragon Ball GT, and they literally brought back Super Saiyan 4 in that. And it's like, what? Didn't you hate Super Saiyan 4? Didn't Toriyama like specifically be like, 4 is stupid?
What? I mean, I can understand someone not liking GT. It is kind of boring, but Super Saiyan 4 is like, besides the original Super Saiyan, is like the coolest looking one.
It's also the one.
It looks awesome.
It's also the one that makes the most sense of like tapping into the primal,
right?
Like
the monkey,
the great ape,
the great ape, yeah.
But like, I mean, Super Saiyan is super iconic. I mean, you can't deny that it's cool. But like, when you think about it, Super Saiyan has nothing to do with being a Saiyan. It's like you don't need your monkey tail. You don't need to, like, do anything. You just, like, glow gold for some reason.
Because you tap into
Again,
your
I'm not saying
power.
that I'm not saying that Super Saiyan is not cool, because it's cool. But it has nothing to do with being a Saiyan.
I'm still angry that Super
Krillin
Saiyan...
could go superhuman and be the same thing.
That's true. I'm still mad that Super Saiyan 3 got so little screen time. I just love the idea of the all-or-nothing glass cannon. And they did it for, like, one fight with Boo, and we're like... Alright,
I think the problem with Super Saiyan 3 is that it's just so unsatisfying. It's just like Goku in Afterlife is like, yep, I can do Super Saiyan 3 now for some reason.
Well, I like the idea of like... It's kind of like the the hyper beam in this. It's like I can attack really hard, really fast for a little bit, but then
I think that's
die.
more the Kaioken. I think the Kaioken power-up is awesome because that's exactly what, like, he's stronger, but it takes way more damage.
Did they ever bring that back up after they turned Super Saiyan 1?
They brought it back for Dragon Ball Super, the anime, for that fan service moment, but he goes, like, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20. But in the manga, that never happens, because apparently, like Super Saiyan or Dragon Ball Super was written in such a weird way where basically Toriyama would like give like the production teams like napkin notes, and the napkin note this time was like after Vegeta uses Super Saiyan Blue, he drops to 1/10 his power, and then Goku comes and is like 20 times stronger. And in the manga, they basically are like, oh, they make Super Saiyan Blue a very taxing like transformation, where like using it for like a little bit is like really like hardcore in your body. But in the anime, they're just like, okay, let's just make Goku go Kaioken times 20, and it's definitely cooler, but it makes less sense.
Oh, why can't Vegeta go one day without jobbing? Why?
You know the worst thing in the world about that? In the manga, because it went on for 2 more arcs that the Super anime never adapted. But
will they never adapt it now at this point?
I don't know. Toriyama's dead.
Well, right. That does not mean DBZ's done, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dragon Ball is going to continue forever.
Right.
But apparently, like, the manga and the anime are, like owned by different companies. Like, the anime is by Toei, and then the manga is owned by Shonen Jump, which I don't think, like, are, like, the same owners, so there's a little bit of, like, conflict of interest in terms of, like, merchandising. Like, they can only merchandise the anime stuff for some reason.
Very cool.
But in the manga, Vegeta gets a new power-up called Ultra Ego. It's different from Ultra Instinct. And it's basically like this power-up where, like, the more he gets BTFO, the stronger he gets. But, like, he uses this new power-up. He, like, finally comes back. And, like, there's a cool moment where he goes to that planet that Goku goes to in between the Frieza and Android arcs. I forget what it's called. But he, like, learned, like...
Oh, the instant transmission place?
Yeah, the instant transmission place. He goes to... Vegeta goes there, and, like, he learns about ki control way better than Goku, because Goku's not, like, super talented at anything. But, like, he comes back and he's like, I now have this new power-up called Ultra Ego. And then he jobs!
No!
He jobs with the new power-up. It doesn't matter at all.
Why does Toriyama hate Vegeta so much?
Apparently he really hated Vegeta.
It's funny because he's, like, the best... I mean, if he hated him so much, why didn't he just kill him at the Saiyan Saga?
And, like, Vegeta has the best character arc in the series.
Yeah, easily. It's not even close. I mean, Vegeta would not be a great main character. I will fully admit that. Goku is a much better main character. You kind of just need, like, an everyman. I mean, I know he's, like, the legendary Saiyan or whatever, but kind of like an everyman in the way he acts. But, like, damn, he just hates Vegeta. Like, it just reminds me of all these...
The place is called Yardrat. I just remember.
Okay. It reminds me of all these people who create these creations, and they, like... become something bigger than what they created, and then they end up hating it. Like, probably the best example is Pepe the Frog. The guy who created Pepe the Frog hates Pepe.
Well, that one's understandable.
That one is understandable in a way, but I would be, like, just happy that, like, I would be happy that, like, billions of people recognize it. I'd be like, holy crap. I understand it can be used in some bad political ways and stuff like that. I get that. But you kind of just, like... It's just, like... Alright, so, like, if you create, like, the guy who created Sonic, would he be upset about Sonic the Hedgehog because people make, like, romance things about Sonic? Like, it's just part of making something. People are gonna mess it up, you know?
In terms of Sonic, it would be more like Shadow getting, like, the most love. Maybe, like, he takes it, like, the wrong way. I guess that's what's going on.
But he created Vegeta as well. I get what you're saying. Like, are you saying if the Sonic guy created Shadow, which maybe he did, I have no idea.
Yeah, because Shadow is very similar to Vegeta because he's initially a villain, then becomes like an anti-hero,
right,
and then becomes a lot more regular, very, very much later.
That just happens so often, where someone makes a character and then fans are just like, "Oh, cool."
The weirdest ones are like when the protagonist of the story, it seems like the author hates him, and when that happens, it's just like, why?
Can you think of like, I know it happens, but like an example of that? I know it happens.
An anime just ended, or the manga, the My Hero Academia ended, and Deku has like the most pathetic ending in the world.
Well, that's fine. Deku sucks.
Deku sucks, but like he's the protagonist of the series.
Right.
But basically, literally, he loses his. I'm just going to spoil it. Anyone that wants to know or doesn't want to know, skip forward 2 minutes. Giving you the warning now. But Deku loses his power at the very end of the series because he has All for One.
Yeah, the All Might one. Yeah,
and he uses it all up. But like after that, he basically becomes like a wagey for like the next like 10 years. Like he's just like this underpaid, depressed like teacher.
Wait, he can't like go off of his fame?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You'd be like, he literally saved the world. You're treating this guy like garbage.
Did All Might literally survive the series, or did he die?
I don't remember. I really don't like.
No, but I'm thinking like All Might was like still super popular, even though when he was like, I can't fight anymore, people were still like, we love you, All Might. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, the other one. I forget the guy's name, but Attack on Titan guy.
Yeah, that's another good one where like he is.
Is it Jiren? No, that's probably not.
I never actually watched Attack on Titan.
I apologize, anime fans, but I just know that he is BTFO'd at the end, and all he cares about after doing all this great stuff is that like his girlfriend's gonna remarry or something like that.
He wants his girlfriend to remember him for as long as possible, while he's just like blithering like a baby at the very end. It's so pathetic.
Oh boy.
There's a lot of things like that where I don't know, it just seems like there's like this idea where you can't give the protagonist a happy ending because maybe it's like too cliche, but like it's cliche for a reason. It's like satisfying. They're making all these stories that like are a million years long, and then it's just the most unsatisfying thing.
Well, you can do it like a Solid Snake way, where it's not a satisfying ending, but at least he's like accomplishes his mission and he's like dies. You know what I mean? Like, but just to be like, oh, because Deku's what, like 16 years old?
Yeah, he's super young.
So like he has the rest of his life to be like, ugh. And it's like, what? Like you literally like. I assume people know in that series that he like was part of the people that saved the world because people love heroes in that.
Yeah. And like the very end, it's supposed to be a little bit heartfelt. That it's like they eventually give him like basically an Iron Man suit after like years and years. Like he's just like a wagey for a while. And it's like, hey, we should probably give Deku his stupid suit so he can be a hero again, I guess.
That's so weird.
But like he like the love interest goes nowhere. They just disappear. Like all his friends suck. He's just a wagey for 10 years until he finally gets his cope suit. It's like it's so pathetic.
That's bizarre. Yeah, I don't get it. I feel
it's like what am I supposed to take out of this story? Like, what's the moral?
I feel like some creators, like when they almost like panic when like their thing becomes so popular and they're like, why is this guy? Why is my character so beloved? I got to take him down a rung. It's like really weird.
Yeah, and
maybe they're like upset that the character became bigger than them. You know what I mean? Like bigger than the creator.
Or maybe they're taking out their frustration on like not liking the series as much, or like the series didn't go where they wanted because of the editors or something. And they're just like, okay, let's give the protagonist a pathetic ending.
If you think about it.
We're loading my 100% save file.
Ooh.
After I finished everything, the only thing left is the final planet. So I'm just loading up the 100% save file because there is a secret ending if you do this. Although it's not worth it at all.
So if you think about it, a lot of characters that are like have transcended their authors. Yes, there's some people who are known, like everyone knows who created Mario, Shigeru Miyamoto. But there's a lot of characters out there, like, I don't know the name of the guy who created Pac-Man. I'm sure people do. I don't. And I'm pretty in the video game world. I don't know the name of the guy who created Sonic. Again, a lot of people do, but, like, it's not like synonymous. You know what I mean? Yes, it happens. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So like most people know Mary Shelley created Frankenstein, but there's just certain characters that are so timeless it almost doesn't matter who created them, you know? Like tell me who created Batman. What's the name of the guy who created Batman? Right?
No idea.
And there's a lot of comic fans that know, but like you know who Batman is and you've seen Batman movies and you played the games and stuff. The character Batman as a creation is more important than the gentleman who created him, you know? So, and I think people can't like cope with that, so they're like imagine if the creator of Batman, you know, was like still alive and he was like, in this one, like, yeah, he gets his back broken and has lots of things happen, but it's like, in this one he's gonna snivel and cower in fear at the Joker's feet and be like, please, Joker, please.